Hello dear students, good evening. Now here we are about to continue with the story The Fortune Teller by Carol Capping. We already completed Unit 4 till Unit 4 and we have to continue with Unit 5. Now I think I ended the story on a very interesting note when you already know about the fact that Mrs. Myers was on till her fortune telling, and the question was that in which way we can find it out that a fortune telling is authentic, it is something which will be relied upon, or it is something that is fake, it's unrealistic. So now it was Mrs. McCleary who went to Mrs. Myers to just actually find out what kind of a fortune she can predict, or actually what is the way of living of Mrs. Myers. So now, after all this thing, when she goes to visit Mrs. Myers as Miss Jones, in fact, and she comes back and she reports the entire incident to her husband, Inspector McCleary, then see the reaction what happens. Mr. McCleary says that I don't like the look of this. This woman is too much interested in late uncle. He said, and says, I mean, he also found out that her she's not actually Mrs. Myers, but she is Meyerhofer, and she comes from Lübeck. So she is from Germany. This is what the incident happened. He narrated that. Now he says, I will have to find out what how we have to put an end of her game, this little silly game that she's playing. And he says, come on. Then he decides that he has to narrate, in fact, report the whole incident to the bosses. And finally, as we already spoke about, Mr. Kelly JP, who is the judge, and he was the one, he had the, you can say, chance to take over the case of Mrs. Myers. So now the case goes to the magistrate. Well, Mrs. Myers, he says, what all this I hear about your fortune telling in the cards? She says, what kind of things, what various kinds of things I'm hearing about your cards and your fortune? And she said, good gracious, I must do something for a living. And she says, I'm at my age, when I'm so old, I can't go to the mall, to the music halls and dance and do other kinds of my living. So Mr. Kelly said, okay, but the charge against you is that you don't read the cards properly, you read them haphazardly, and there's also that you want to give slabs of clay when they ask for cakes of chocolate. This is what you're doing. In return, you're taking, your fee is 1 guinea, and people are entitled to correct prophecy. So what are you doing? Look here, what's the good of your trying to prophesy when you don't know how to? Now, Mr. Kelly is putting up the case that these are the allegations which could be put against Mrs. Myers, that what exactly she is planning and what kind of a prediction she is doing. Okay. It isn't everyone who complains, she says. Everyone is not the one who's complaining, who comes to find out about their fortune or the future. You see, I foretell the things they like. She says, okay, one important thing we come to know about, that I tell the things that they want to hear, they like. And the pleasure they get out of is worth a shilling, a few shillings. She says they get a pleasure. So what I'm charging for the pleasure that they are getting after hearing what they wish to hear. And sometimes I'm right. So again, now she confesses this fact that sometimes I'm absolutely right. And Mrs. Myers says, nobody's ever read the cards for me as well you have and given me such a good advice. This is one lady told us. So she lives in St. John's Wood and is getting a divorce from her husband. Look here, the magistrate stopped her and he says, you've got a witness against you. Mrs. McCleary, tell the court. Now Mrs. McCleary is in the court, and as soon as she sees her now, she already know that Mrs. McCleary went as Miss Jones to find out about the fortune. And she says, now, come on, she's in the court, you tell what happened. You narrate the whole incident when you went to meet Mrs. Myers. Mrs. Myers told me from the cards, began Mrs. McCleary glibly, easily. In fact, that before the year I will be married and my future husband very rich and I will go across the ocean and all over. Why across the ocean? The magistrate, Mr. Kelly, wanted to know. But there was 9 of spades in the second card, and then again she's depicting about all these things. The magistrate said rubbish. The 9 of spades means hope, and the jack of spades, that means journey. And again, now judge also having some idea about it, and she says, come on, you prophesied to the witness here that before the year she'll marry a rich man. But Mrs. McCleary is already married 3 years to a rich young man, and he's a fine fellow. So, can you explain all this stupidity and absurdity that you've already done? Now, Mrs. Myers is dumbstruck. She doesn't know how to react. She says, that does happen now and then. She says it happens now and then, and there's nothing new about it. When this young person called on me, she was all dressed up. She had a glove which was torn. She was dressed up like a young girl, and she wasn't looking well off. She wanted to make a good impression, and she said she was 20. So obviously, that's the kind of prediction I've been making. Now that's the same. Well, she wanted to get married. What I mean to say, she made out of me was she wasn't married. So I arranged a set of cards that made a wedding ring and a rich husband, and that's all I could do to make her happy. And what about the obstacles? Elderly gentleman says journey and all, and then she says, okay, there's quite a lot has to be told for a guinea. Of course, I'm charging a guinea, so I have to make the future prediction quite exciting and full of appeal, so that she could move out happily and she could look forward to a bright future for herself. Let's come to Unit 6 now. Well, that's enough, said the magistrate. There's no way by cards is a fraud, and cards take some understanding. There are various ideas about it, but if my memory serves me, the 9 of spades never means journey. You pay a fine of 50,000, he says, and just the same as people who adulterate food or sell worthless goods. So he said, the punishment for your crime, the sentence of your crime is that you have to pay 50 pounds as a fine, and this fine is equal to an adultery which is committed by anybody or selling worthless goods which are not authentic. But there is a suspicion too, Mrs. Myers, that you engage in espionage as well. Now again, he says that we are doubting that you are also doing a kind of spying for people, or could be for any country. Would you admit that? As true as I'm standing here, Mrs. Myers said, but